Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Tim. Welcome to One World Sports Radio. We are broadcasting live, ball by ball, Pakistan versus South Africa. It's so good to see South Africa playing in Pakistan again, Tim.
After 14 long years, it's a welcome surprise.
No, the longest tour by any team, I would say.
Certainly a much anticipated series with lots of unknowns. It's difficult to predict what's going to happen.
It's a pity we don't have the Pakistan fans in the stands here. For sure, because that was one of the best parts of watching cricket in Pakistan, was to see the passion of those fans. Algar and Markram are at the crease. South Africa won the toss and they chose to bat first. So we're just waiting for the first ball to be bowled here on our feed. So just make sure that you sync up your TV wherever you are. And please do tweet us in at Gorilla SA, GUERILLASA, and let us know where you are watching from. Shaheen Shah Afridi is going to be opening the bowling for Pakistan. Geez, he's still 20 years old, 14 matches, 41 wickets, 33.02 average, and a strike rate of 62.56 with 1 5-wicket haul. And he will be bowling from the University Road end in Karachi. They've got 3 slips and a gully in, and it will be Dean Algar to face the first ball. Good morning, Chris.
Morning.
Morning,
Came in as emergency replacement.
There we go. We've got our bench working for us here.
I'm the Lungi and Gidi of the One World Sports team. Ray Shamsi's out and Ravi Nair, and I'm in.
Exactly. This one is down the leg side by Afridi and goes through to the keeper for no run. Yes, we're going to miss Ravi, our Indian connection there on the subcontinent. He is probably the only Pakistan fan in the commentary team, or the only one who might be rooting for Pakistan. I'm not sure. Or he might not be. He might be a real Indian supporter and therefore never support Pakistan at all under any circumstances. So we look forward to having him back. And this one is wide outside, off stump, through to the keeper for no run.
What do we make of the composition of the side? Are we all happy?
I'm always disappointed when Vian Mulder's not there, but it does look like probably the right decision, especially if Shamsi is not available. You do want that other spin option in Linda. But yeah, Mulder's one of my favorites. It's so a shame that he's not there.
I tend to agree. I would have liked him to get a crack on these wickets. I think they would have suited him.
Yeah, but nothing too outlandish. It's all well within sort of what I think everyone expected. There was no Marco Janssen suddenly into the side.
Yeah.
That one by Afridi had some nice shape through the air, and it went through to the keeper for no run, left alone by Algar. I think it's a good side. It's a pity that we couldn't play the 3 spinners because that would have been interesting to see how how we cope with that. How the team is captained as well with 3 spinners in the side, and we'll just have to wait and see if that's going to be good enough. This one is played by Algar off his pad into the onside, and it's going to be fielded just behind square on the square leg boundary, and they are going through for 3 runs. It'll put Marker on strike.
Pakistan are doing the usual, giving their debuts on a reoccurring basis. But the two guys that came in do have very, very good records in the 4-day competition. So they have got that.
Yeah, I was looking at Norman Ali's stats, and the first thing that stands out is the fact that he's 34 years old, which is almost the South African model of picking debutants. We've got a few. I guess we either pick them very old or very young at the moment, similar to Pakistan.
It'll be interesting to get to know the new names that we haven't seen before. Markram facing Afridi, and this one hits him on the pads. There's an appeal for LBW. and the umpire wasn't interested at all in signaling that the ball was too high. So a good leave, you could say, by Markram, but that didn't look very convincing at all.
Yeah, and I think our streams are finally synced up. I paused mine for a while, so it's about 90 seconds between us, but it's synced up now. But yeah, a bit of movement from Shaheen Afridi, who's by far the most experienced bowler in this very inexperienced Pakistan bowling lineup.
Yeah, at 20 years old, he's leading the gear for Pakistan and doing a great job so far. That one swung in very nicely to the right-hander. And this one left-handed Afridi over the wicket to Markram. It's played out to extra cover, to mid-wicket, and there is no run. 3 runs without the loss of a wicket at the end of the first over. And let's see who's going to be taking the new ball from the other end now for Pakistan with Algar facing.
Yeah, it was a stat that I looked up about a week ago when I was very excited for the series. But Kagiso Rabada has more test wickets than every other bowler in this series combined, Pakistan and South Africa. We're seeing 2 pretty inexperienced bowling attacks. But every other seamer, that is. You have to exclude Yasir Shah and Keshav Maharaj to get that stat.
Okay, and now that's very interesting. I mean, we were just remarking about that as well before we came on air, that as usual, there's a whole bunch of new faces in the Pakistan side, and it's going to be Hassan Ali, who we do know a little bit. And he's going to be bowling from the other end. We'll get the name of the end for you now, I'm sure. 3 slips, gully. He's got fine leg on the boundary. Algar is facing him left-handed. Hassan Ali comes right-handed over the wicket, and this one is wide outside, leg stump, through to the keeper for no run.
Hassan Ali, I think. Whoop.
His last test, funny enough, was also against South Africa 2 years ago.
How many series have Pakistan played in between?
Not very many with him in it.
No, they also haven't had a lot of opportunities to play.
It's Mohammad Abbas is the more experienced player who's been left out, who didn't have a very good series against New Zealand. So yeah, he'd probably be often in these series in between, be there ahead of Hassan Ali. And so that's where they've lost a lot of experience.
Hassan Ali is in again from the pavilion end. This one on leg stump played out to the mid-wicket region by Algar, and there is no run again. 3 without loss is still the score.
Yeah, Hassan Ali, obviously more famous as a one-day bowler. He really broke out in the Champions Trophy that Pakistan won a few years ago. Got almost bored of seeing his explosion celebration.
Yeah, I remember him as a sort of an all-rounder. Now he's opening the bowling.
Yeah, brilliant fast bowler, at least in the one-day game. But I think he's fallen out of favour on all fronts a little bit.
So he said something about having to find fitness. He was told he needed to improve his fitness.
Okay, down to us too. As we've temporarily lost Otto, for any of the listeners out there, I'm sure he's doing his best to get back, as he is an IT specialist. So the visuals that I have are they're deciding whether a ball was 4 or not as it ran away to the boundary. Is that similar for you?
That looks like 4 to me. It's like his left knees touched the rope. Awfully close, but I reckon that's 4.
But we also made the point that we're all going to be supporting South Africa. Maybe I'll take Pakistan as my team, just so we have someone in the rival camp, and that's definitely safe, even if it is probably 4. Yeah, they're going over it over and over again. I guess you have to make sure. Otto was commenting on the fact that it's a shame that there's a lack of fans, which is true. But of all the sports, I think cricket's the most used to watching this sport without anyone in the stands, whether it's the one-day cup or just Pakistan playing in the UAE over the last few years. It's not the biggest adjustment to have to make.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very, very true.
Hassan Ali in again, right arm over to left-handed Elgar. This one's wide enough, and it's left alone, goes straight through the keeper. South Africa 7 for no loss after 1.4.
There's always talk about Pakistan selections, but at least this time they picked on form. 2 guys that have come in.
I didn't have a chance to look at Butt's numbers, but he's at least on the younger side, 25 years old.
They're all the top 6 average ball finish.
This ball strays slightly down leg, and Elgar just guides it off his pads as it runs down to the fine leg boundary. The fielder gives it his best effort, but it has gone for 4. South Africa 11 for no loss. All of those runs coming off the bat of Elgar.
If you just look at their batting, their top 6 do like playing in this ground. They all average over 40, so they all have a familiarity with this particular ground, especially in recent times.
I think you'd struggle to find anyone more experienced in Pakistan domestic cricket than Fawad Alam.
Yeah,
because he didn't waste his time playing tests for the last 15 years or so. He's just been focused on domestic cricket. Hassan Ali in again for the final delivery of the second over, which goes straight through to the keeper Rizwan for no run. South Africa 11 for no loss, and Otto's back.
Hello, yes, apologies for that. I'm not sure what happened there. I just saw the last ball of the over myself. So I'm about, I saw the last 4 there, so I'm about a ball behind. So we can we'll just catch up with the third over starting now. 11 without loss. So a little bit all over the place by Pakistan. They're not finding their lines and lengths in the first 2 overs. So let's see what they can do in the third one. I'm just watching that last delivery. Elgar had a shot at that. It was sort of tried a back foot kind of cut shot there. And missed it completely.
Yeah.
So Shaheen Afridi to continue the third over for Pakistan. 11 without loss. Yes.
As we were talking about inexperienced attack, Shaheen Afridi's sort of the closest thing that they'll have to a backbone. He'll bring that consistency. Hassan Ali not looking especially fluent so far. Maybe a spell that is more suited to one days.
Yes, I tend to agree. The real weapon will be, especially early on, Afridi.
And then we can rely on Yasir Shah to look after the ball once it's a little bit older. And lead some of the younger bowlers or less experienced bowlers.
That one by Shaheen Afridi outside, wide outside off stump and left well alone by Markham, and there is no run.
So certainly an important series for Markham. You have to take all the caveats with that Sri Lankan series. This is maybe not a make or break, but it's certainly a very important series for him to cement his place.
He's also a player where it seems opinions vary wildly. Even when he's playing poorly, I seem to feel confidence with him and Elgar up at the top of the order. It just seems safe. I don't know what that is about him. Maybe his strong jaw, but I just feel like he knows how to look after the new ball in the South African side.
So that one was played by Markham out into extra cover for a single, 12 without loss.
Let's make a nice combination. If it succeeds, it does make for a nice combination in their different roles. Whereas, because Elgar, as you said, just sees off difficult periods, and Markham does try to look to score runs. So it makes for a nice combination.
And when he does get going, it really is beautiful. And something I don't have a huge issue with Elgar's technique, but a lot of people wouldn't describe it as beautiful.
Shaheen Afridi beats the outside edge of Dean Elgar there, and a little bit of excitement there from Pakistan, but nice movement off the pitch and through the air here. Conventional swing by Shaheen Afridi, and Elgar just fished at that little bit, feet going nowhere. So excellent delivery there by Shaheen Afridi. That's what he can do. He's a very dangerous bowler when he gets it right. And this one in again, left alone, I would say, there by Elgar, outside off stump. And welcome to Pakistan, eh?
Yeah, he's getting prolific movements. It definitely looks like the danger end where the batsman looks a lot less comfortable off Shaheen Afridi.
Yeah, I think Shaheen Afridi is getting that line tight on the off stump to the left-hander, so that's a good sign for Pakistan. He's getting into his rhythm now, and Algar needs to concentrate here. They've got a short square leg in, so expect some short stuff here. Algar goes forward to this one, pushes it out to mid-off, and it goes to the boundary for 4. That was a good, strong defensive shot. But there was no fielders there, so 4 runs to the total, 16 without loss with 1 ball to go in the 3rd over.
And yeah, Algar taking the vast majority of the strikes so far, scoring the vast majority of the runs.
He had some loose deliveries to work with. That one was just a little bit too full, but also on the correct line. So let's see this last delivery from Afridi over the wicket left alone by Algar, the 2 left-handers facing each other, Shaheen Afridi and Dean Algar, and there's no run. End of the 3rd over, 16 without loss.
Yeah, the last time South Africa played a test series in Karachi, test match in Karachi, Jacques Kallis scored 150 and 100. Who do we see doing that for us in this match?
Algar should be one of them. I'll go on Faf. I'll go to Faf. Faf's the better player of spin.
So one can get the 150 and one of them can get the 100.
Yeah, it looks like Shaheen Afridi is showing some danger here for Pakistan. He's looking like he might take a wicket at any moment, and let's see if Hassan Ali can also match that display we just saw from Afridi. It comes in over the wicket to Algar, who defends, to Markram, who defends this to the covers, and there's no run. 16 without loss. That looked a bit better from Hassan Ali in terms of his lines and stuff. So Markram has faced 5 balls now. He's only scored 1 run. And I agree with you, Tim. I think if Markram can do well in this series, it's going to go a long way to cementing his place. This one is defended by Markram outside the off stump into the gap between Sip and Gully, down to the boundary for 4. That was a controlled shot there, I would say. 20 without loss.
Although he did seem to have a surprised look on his face after he played it. I mean, he definitely placed it beautifully between the Sips and the Gully. And he'll tell us that it was intentional and not just a very thick outside edge.
Yeah, it did look a little bit intentional when you have the Protea coloured glasses on, as we do. So if you are a Pakistan fan, apologies for that. Hassan Ali on the leg stump strays in his line there, and Markram just flicks that off his pads out to backward square leg for a 4. Another 4 there for Markram. That was a bad delivery by Ali and punished by Markram.
See what I'm talking about? Don't you just feel safe with Aiden Markram scoring 4s like this at the top of the innings?
Yes, it's a good thing to see from a South African point of view. And the weather looks really nice in Karachi. That delivery off his pads again, but just out to mid-on region for no run.
It's early doors and all that, and I know that Mohammed Abbas has had a bad 12 months, more than just that last series. But I do wonder if on home pitches, this would have suited him better than Hassan Ali. Because that ball through slips aside looked very ineffective.
Yeah, and this one is driven very nicely by Markram through extra cover for another boundary, full and wide by Hassan Ali and driven. So we'll have to wait and see what the new guys can do for Pakistan. Obviously giving Hassan Ali the new ball here because he is a bit more experienced than the rest of the attack. So maybe they've got some surprises in store for South Africa. That ball moved nicely through the air, but it was too full and too wide, and Markram just holds the pose there with a nice cover drive for 4. 28 without loss now. And 12 runs off the over so far. Last ball of the 4th over by Hassan Ali. This one is just defended out into extra cover for a run. 28 without loss after 4. Now, Hassan Ali is doing Markram a big favor here because he's giving him some nice loose deliveries to get his eye in. So I'm sure that Markram will be very happy with that. Just to, as you said, just that one ball that we're not sure was intentionally played through the slip border between slip and gully. So Hassan Ali needs to fix those figures of his so far, and see if he can correct some of those small mistakes that he's made so far. From a Pakistan point of view, he needs to step up to the level of Afridi, who's in now, left arm over the wicket to Algar. This one is just dotted down to point, and they take a quick single. 29 without loss.
Yeah, we were talking about.
Sorry. So quick that single that was. It was an indication that Algar wanted to sit at the other end while Shahid was bowling.
Maybe that's exactly what it is. Just to face another Hassan Ali over. We were talking about in the last match, especially Ravi was talking about it sort of being ODI run rates. Right now, Hassan Ali has T20 run rates, going at 10 runs and over.
Okay, so Shaheen Afridi in again. This one to Markram. Defended. It was a shortish delivery onto the body of Markram, and he defends it to extra cover for no run. $29 without loss is still the score. Shaheen Afridi has conceded 9 runs so far. He's bowling the 3rd delivery of his 3rd over. Algar on 16 off 15. Markram now moves to 13 off 11. Hassan Ali doing him a big favour in that last over. He's facing Shaheen Afridi over the wicket now, and this one across the right-hander to the keeper for no run.
Yeah, we're talking about Mohammad Abbas, and taking the time to look at his recent statistics a bit more closely. And although he hasn't been able to play lots in Pakistan, obviously, just the 3 games, he's got a good average there. And then the closest analog is their other home ground, the UAE, where he's been unbelievable. Where he's got an average of just under 18. So I think you're right, Tim, about the home conditions. Mohammad Abbas had too mad, but I mean we're only four and a bit overs into this. Maybe Hassan Ali will prove us very wrong.
Yeah, let's hope for Pakistan's sake that he can just correct those small errors. And Afridi in again. This one also let alone pitches outside off stump as the left-handed bowler comes over the wicket across the right-hander, and there's no run. That last the ball before last was a no ball, so there will be an extra run added. 30 without loss is the score, and an extra delivery in over. So overstepping there, Shaheen Afridi. But he's looking dangerous for Pakistan.
Yeah, massive in swing to Markram and away swing from Algar.
Now let's see if he can get the in swinger going again here, and this time it is that delivery on off stump defended by Markram. That one pitched just about middle and off, and was going on to hit or just clip off stump. So exactly like you said, Chris, getting that ball to come into the right-hander very nicely. 30 without loss, 2 balls to go in the 5th over.
And as the series is going on, our women have obviously also been playing Pakistan in home conditions. Something that Guerrilla Cricket have actually covered from the ground before, but SuperSport saw how successful that was, and they've decided to broadcast all the women's matches themselves now. Which is probably good for the game, but disappointing for us.
We'll claim that one. Afridi to Mrim defended to extra cover for no run. Yes, that's going to occupy us for the rest of the day. Once the day's play is done here in Pakistan, we'll be focusing all our attention on the ladies playing the Pakistan women today again in Potchefstroom, right?
I think it's all in Durban.
Oh, it's all in Durban, yes, of course.
That's right, yeah.
The one-day cup is in Potch. Okay. I've got my series mixed up. The bubbles mixed up. Markram facing Shaheen Afridi. This one is an outside edge, and is it taken? Yes. And it's caught at second slip. It looked like Afridi is celebrating. Markram has gone for 13 off 16 balls, that would be. So wicket off that extra ball from Shaheen Afridi. Well, he's got one more ball to go. In the fifth over, Markram is out for 13, and South Africa 30 runs on the board for the loss of 1 wicket. This one was pitching on middle and off, and just catching the outside edge as Markram defended that in front of his body, and caught at second slip there. So well done to Shaheen Afridi in Pakistan. Good catch in the slips.
Yeah, another thick outside edge, but not quite as well aimed. This one, it's straight into the hand. So one slip went diving in front of another, a bit of a poach there in the slips.
Yes, indeed. Second slip diving to his left and stealing that catch from in front of the first slip. And let's see who is coming to the crease. That'll be Rassie van der Dussen coming in at number 3. So not a great start here for South Africa, and good reward for Pakistan. Indeed, that was the end of the over, so Rusty won't be facing Hassan Ali, although I'm sure he would love to have the opportunity to get his eye in. Now, a bit of a disappointing dismissal there for Markram. He wasn't really beaten by a good delivery, I would say.
He doesn't like the one that goes across him from the left-hander. It's a real weakness of his. A ball that just goes across past the off stump. Remember, that's how he was dropped against Sri Lanka in the last test.
Yeah, Imran Butt.
Huh?
I was just saying, Imran Butt, the fielder there. We need. I don't mind seeing incompetent slips from opposition. It's frustrating when they take their catches.
That was a very good catch. It was a very, very good catch.
Yeah.
As we now see a leg. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that ball was Hassan Ali down the leg side for no run. The first ball of Hassan Ali's third over, the 6th over of the match so far. He's bowling to Algar. They've got a leg slip in now. Algar defends this one outside off stump for no run. So they've decided to put a leg slip in for Dean Algar.
And maybe even more a leg slip in for Hassan Ali, whose line was straying slightly down leg. Just to get the batsman to double think any shots off his pants.
As we see replays here of Markram's dismissal, so he definitely tried to just defend that ball to the onside, but the angle beating him there. This one is left alone by Algar outside off stump, and there is no run.
There's a lot of talk about our batting lineup over the last little while. What do we all think of Rassie at 3? Is he our number 3?
He's done an all right job so far, and I don't know. Yeah, not enough. He's done enough to hold on to it for now. We don't have to make a decision just yet.
Hassan Ali onto the stump.
That could take its
the
place,
leg of Dean Algar plays this out to extra cover, and they take a single. So Rassie van der Dussen is going to face the 5th ball of the 6th over. 31 for 1 is the score.
There are obviously other younger players that would be vying for that same position, but right now, yeah, he's sort of in that limbo where he hasn't exactly made it his, but he's definitely been good enough to necessitate a few more opportunities.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree with that. particularly when Keegan Peterson was unavailable.
3 slips in and a gully now as Hassan Ali is going to bowl to Rassie van der Dussen. Right arm over the wicket to the right-hander. This one on middle stump, and it's nicely tipped off his legs by Rassie to extra cover where it's fielded by Fahim. And they take another single, or was that a 2? 33 for 1 is the score now, so 2 runs there to Rassie, and he's off the mark. So I think Hassan Ali sort of looks in this over like he's got his lines a little bit better. He had that one going straying down the leg side. Seems to be more comfortable going to the right hander now as this one is on middle and off stump and defended just in front of square on the onside for no run. 33 for 1. And the end of the 6th over. Algar on 17 of 19 and Van der Dussen on 2 of 2.
Lots of birds of prey flying around the ground. I think that they're hawks. And one of them flew so close to the camera of the ground earlier that it almost looked like CGI. Like Peter Jackson or someone had something to do with the graphics of the birds around.
Yeah, you can see them floating around in the air. And that's something that I picked up in the Sri Lanka match as well, where what was it,
crow?
Yeah, some kind of bird that was distracting the English batsman. Shaheen Afridi comes into Algar, defends this to the onside for no run. And you could see huge flocks of birds sort of congregating on areas of the field. With the lack of spectators, that's also something that we're not used to seeing. There's these big. Usually, you get like 1 or 2 birds, maybe, but they had like these huge flocks of birds on the actual pitch, and birds like walking up to the wicket as if they were watching a game. Shaheen Afridi in again to Algar. This one is left alone outside off stump and no run. 33 for 1. But was it a stork or some kind of?
I saw lots of crows whilst watching the England Sri Lanka series, just all over the field. I didn't see any storks, but I also didn't watch every delivery. But crows in similar numbers as you sometimes see seagulls in the Australian matches, where they're just all over the field, happy to get hit by the ball every now and again.
So we've got eagles here in Karachi, it looked like, or hawks, some kind of bird of prey. Shaheen Afridi over the wicket to Dean Algar, left alone wide outside of stump, and there is no run. 33 for 1. So it could be that they brought the birds of prey in to keep other birds away. It might be a planned deployment of birds of prey. Yeah.
Yeah, we won't. At least it's not vultures. It's always very menacing. If your team's out there batting and there's vultures circling, you feel like it's a sign of something or other.
Afridi short over the wicket and ducked underneath it by Algar through to the keeper for no run. Trying the fourth ball there, but not quite the right length. But all dot balls so far for Shaheen Afridi. Algar is treating him with the necessary respect. He's still one of the tallest, Shaheen Afridi.
Yeah, that's why I thought maybe we bring in Marco Janssen just to counteract the height difference.
Shaheen Afridi into Algar. This one is played down into the ground past gully just behind point. 2 fielders chasing there, but the ball is going to beat both of them to the boundary, and it's a 4. So a little bit of relief there for Algar. 37 for 1.
I've taken a bit of initiative because I realized it's something we forgot. I do have a few tweets here that I can slowly get through. It's not an overwhelming mountain, but some familiar faces. And Paul just saying that Shanti can't catch a break. Hope he gets a game in the next test. All the best with this back spasm. Robbie Naya saying, thanks for jumping in, Chris. Looking good. Can't quite say for the same for Otto's lighting. Just, yeah, it looks like it's nighttime wherever Otto is, even if it's Otto's 7.
Yeah, it's just very cloudy and very dark here, sitting in my office under the tree. I 3D into Algar. Well left there by Algar. How did that miss? Says Shane 3D. He's got his hand in his hair and looking up at the sky. That one came into Algar, pitched outside off stump, and let's see how far that was from off stump, because it wasn't that far. Could have gone just over or just past as it came into Algar stumps. So good leave if you're a South African fan, and Pakistan fans would say that was close. So Algar knows where his off stump is, or is very lucky. Hassan Ali to continue. The 8th over of the innings. This one on leg stump, nicely clipped to mid wicket by Rassie van der Dussen, and they don't take a single there. 37 for 1.
Robbie Nile also says, carry on, Tim.
So he's bowling with real purpose here. He's got a real rhythm in his bowling. So we have to hope that he's not going to bowl too many more overs. He's giving us all sorts of trouble.
But yeah, he's young, he's fit, he can bowl long spells.
Hassan Ali in again to Van der Dussen, wide outside off stump and left alone, no run. 3 steps in for Hassan Ali to Van der Dussen. 37 for 1 is the score. And they've still got the gully as well.
Robbie Nile also says he wishes I would stop clicking my pen, which I have taken into consideration. If I do it again, it's very much an accident. I'm doing my best not to now. And David Midgley says, good morning, Gurule SA. A marvellous day in Karachi for Test cricket. A good toss to win for Quinton de Kock. Book in bed and breakfast and fill your boots. Book in for bed and breakfast and fill your boots kind of pitch, he asks. I'm not the best judge of that at the moment.
We're not really sure at the moment how the pitch is playing. There's certainly some movement through the air for Shaheen Shah Afridi. Hassan Ali needs to tidy up his lines to get whatever assistance there might be from the pitch. But if it's a typical Pakistan wicket, then yes, it will be flat. It will be nice to bat on, and it will start to break up and give something to the spinners later on. That outside edge goes into the slip cordon there from Rassie van der Dussen. And was that dropped, or did it drop short?
I think it was a bump ball. I think looking at the replay now, so thick outside edge, and yeah, bounces just short of Babar Azam, and it's dropped. So safe in 2 ways. Thankfully, it's not maths. It's not negatives multiplying, and they don't cancel each other out. And Van der Dussen gets the bat on.
Yeah, it's a good delivery by Hassan Ali. He comes in again to Van der Dussen. This one is defended on off stump, back down the pitch, and there's no run. 37 for 1 is the score. Hassan Ali, if he can keep those lines tight on off stump, he's going to do a lot better than he has been so far. He's been a little bit too straight and too wide at times. So
if there's one thing about
coming through from the Pakistan domestic series, where Hassan Ali was the 4th highest wicket taker, and that one last delivery of the over through to the keeper for no run, 37 for 1.
If there's one thing certain about touring Pakistan, is that as a batsman, you have to be definitive what you do. You either have to play forward or back. Whatever you do, you have to be 100% committed. And that edge from Rassie was neither. It felt short, but he wasn't sure either or. He was caught in between. And something that you have control of.
Yeah, 100% correct there, Tim. And we saw the same thing happen to Markram, where he was sort of not going forward, not going back, his feet not really moving, just hanging the bat in front of him. As Afridi goes to Algar, wide outside off stump, left alone, no run.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have very clear memories of how Pakistan pitchers play. I think the last time we toured there, I was 9 or 10 years old and not paying too much attention to shot selection. So this is a learning experience for me.
Yes, we're used to seeing Pakistan playing in the UAE and around the Arabian Peninsula. Shaheen Shah Afridi into Algar. This one is tighter on off stump just outside and defended into the offside for no run. 31.
I do remember watching the World 11 go to play a few T20s there, but I don't think you can look at those T20 pitches as a representative of how Karachi might play over the next 5 days.
Yeah, and we'll have a look at the speeds for Shaheen Afridi. But the last time we toured there was Akram still playing, and I know Wakar Yunus.
Not quite that. 2007. But I mean, he's 20
this
years
one
old.
outside off stump and just defended backward of point by Algar. No, that would have been Shoaib Akhtar.
Looking at it, the bowling lineup: Mohammad Asif, Umar Gul, Abdur Rahman, Dinesh Kanaria, Mohammad Hafiz. The last time we were there.
Umar Gul was the guy that caused us problems last time round. Yes.
Yeah.
Last time we were in Pakistan. Yeah. 37 for 1 is the score. Three balls to go. A better over here by another good over here by Shaheen Shah Afridi so far. 3 dot balls. This one again just defended out to middle by Algar, and it's fielded. Almost beat the man there, but just a defensive push and no run.
Talking about pitches and what to expect, it was very difficult to predict what was going to happen because all we had on was first-class cricket and a couple of PSL games. Our PSL pitches are not conducive to what's going to happen on a test match, so it was actually very difficult to actually write up a piece and say, this pitch is going to do this, that, and the other. It's actually quite difficult.
And Afridi in again to Algar. This one is defended outside off stump to point, and they take a quick single. Score moves on to 38 for 1. Yeah, this is going to be very interesting to see because we also don't have any idea what kind of changes might have happened in the past 14 years in so far as the preparation of the pitch. It looks like they're showing the groundsman there drinking some tea and watching the game. So we could have had a change of groundsman. We could have had other factors playing a role in the preparation of these pitches that we would have absolutely no idea. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these test matches play out. Shaheen Afridi over the wicket to the right-handed Van der Dussen, defends this one full on leg stump up to mid-wicket, and there is no run. End of the over. The 9th over, 38 for 1 is the score. Shaheen Afridi looking dangerous. Hassan Ali getting his lines a bit tidier now. So a good matchup so far.
Yeah, talking about the
Markham for 13 of 16. Yes.
I was just going to say, talking about how the pitches may have changed in the last 14 years, the South African approach has definitely changed in terms of us actually picking 2 and almost 3 spinners. Looking at the scorecard from the last game, we had Paul Harris, and then we were forced into bowling Graham Smith and Hashim Amla for a few overs. And there's exactly as beautiful as Amla's batting as I remember his bowling being ugly. It really was difficult to watch. So I'm glad that we have actual spinners in this game.
It was the sort of bowling you sent to the ICC to have a look.
Yeah, I
so
think there's a reason
now
too often.
He's bowling around the wicket to Algar, left alone outside off stump for no run.
Very much someone you'd recommend bowls in long sleeves.
Yeah, you're quite right there, Chris, because that whole Grand Swift captaincy, we had a strict aversion to spinners, and we only ever played Paul Harris, and his job was just to give the quicks a rest. Well, Gravesmith decided which one wants to bowl from the other end. This one round the wicket by Hassan Ali, wide outside the leg stump, almost collected by the keeper diving to his right. The keeper just managed to parry that away to a square leg area, and they take a single, 39 for 1.
Yeah, he did manage to take a 5 in the first innings, Paul Harris.
Yes,
one of just 3 5.
He had his moments. He had his moments.
I think he's underrated. I think the criticism of him is slightly unjust. He was a very, very important cog on the side when he was there. But I do get the narrative, what the narrative is, and I can agree with it to a point.
From the distance facing Hassan Ali, this one is played to cover, and there's no to the onside for no run, mid-wicket, sorry. For no run, 39 for 1.
I hope we'll see spin before our stint finishes. I'd like to see just a couple of overs.
Well, we'll have to see how it goes, but I think because I'm in for Ravi, I might have a double stint and an increased chance of seeing some spin.
Well, it'll be interesting to see when Pakistan start employing the spinners. Hassan Ali on middle and leg defended out to mid-on by Rassie van der Dussen, and this one will reach the boundary as the fielder chased that a little bit half-heartedly, or maybe the guy can't really run fast. 43 for 1 is the score now. 2 balls to go in the 10th over. So just straying onto the pads there a little bit. It looks like Hassan Ali is getting some movement through the air. So just needs to get his lines right, because that one was pitching on middle and leg, hitting middle. And Rassie managed to squeeze it out. He's got 2 slips at gully point. As he comes in now, defended outside off stump to extra cover or a shortish mid-off for no run. 43 for 1 is the score now. See on 6 of 12. Algar on 22 of 32.
It has been difficult to know exactly what to expect coming into this series. You'd think Pakistan had the advantage of having a proper first-class season just before this began compared to us. And you can see that with all the pitches to the left and right of this one.
And this one is short, pulled by Rassie van der Dussen through mid-wicket, deep mid-wicket, and that's a 4. Nice confident shot there by Rassie as Hassan Ali tried the short ball. Rassie was all over that one. And the score moves on to 47 for 1 at the end of the 10th over.
I do wonder about this Pakistan selection. I mean, obviously, we need to see it plan out for the next 2 sessions or so. I do wonder if they've gone with people who are supposedly batting and spin. They've gone to South Africa, batting and spin. Let's put the extra spinner. I do wonder if that is a smart move, rather than pick their best 11 and just say, that's our best 11. That's the best way to get 20 wickets. Not, let's pick an 11 because South Africa are batting and spin. I just wonder if that's going to plan out.
Shaheen Afridi into Algar. The one is just defended, and Algar had no idea where the ball went, and it just dribbled down into the ground between his legs. There's no run. 47 for 1. And we see some speed here from Shaheen Afridi. Fastest 144.6, average by 139.5. He can go a little bit faster than that. So he's just keeping it accurate, which is why he got the wicket of Markram. And this one is played by Algar back drive through point, and that'll reach the boundary for 4. Nice confident shot there by Algar. 51 for 1, 50 up for South Africa in the 11th over. So that was 68 deliveries. It took South Africa to reach 51 with the loss of 1 wicket.
Going at about a run a minute.
By Shaheen Afridi, and Algar played that shot really nicely through point 4-4. He's facing up to Shane Afridi again. He's on 26. Dean Algar, left-handed batsman, facing the left-handed bowler over the wicket, outside off stump, defended, header line by Afridi, no run, 51 for 1.
Yeah, we'll have to see exactly how much this pitch does turn later on. I think, as Dave was saying, probably, I mean, it's always an advantage to win the toss and be able to choose to bat first, but maybe even more so if they anticipate a wicket that's very conducive to spin. You wouldn't want to be South African in a new country against Yasir Shah of all people and a very experienced debutant.
Yeah, that's true.
Shane Afridi, a wide outside off stump. This one is cut by Dean off the back foot straight to the field at point, and there's no run, 51 for 1. So this will irritate Ravi Nair as well. A 4.86 run rate so far by South Africa. What is that? That is an ODI type of rate.
Yeah, and right now I think we're his only point of access to the cricket. He's not able to stream it anyway.
Shane Afridi in again over the wicket to Algar. This time he's a bit too straight, short on leg stump, and just helped around the corner there by Algar. They go through for a single, 52 for 1, and 1 ball to go in the 11th over. Van der Dussen on our face, Shane Afridi. As we see Yasir Shah, they definitely will be a key player for South Africa. Yep, he's turning his arm over there, showing the leg spin motion there with his hand and his wrist. So we'll wait to see when he gets deployed into the attack for Pakistan. At the moment, he's standing in the slips. Shane Afridi to Van der Dussen on middle and defended to the onside. No run. 52 for 1.
Yeah, we've got a few more tweets. David Midgley comes in again and says, Gorilla Cricket had monitor lizards in Gaul. Gorilla SA has hawks in Karachi. A lot of hawks. Ultra Pernos, who's gone by a million different names over his career, also tweets in at us. It's good to hear from him again. He says, hello, folks. Greeting from Bombay. How are you doing? I'm doing very well.
Very well.
We're all good. We're all good. All good.
Yeah. We're doing very well. Thank you very much for joining us. Everybody's listening. Everybody's watching. It's great to have cricket, test cricket between South Africa and Pakistan in Pakistan. Missing the fans there in Pakistan. Do let us know if you are in Pakistan or in the area there. Let's see. Fahim is going to be into the attack now. He is going to take over from Hassan Ali, who's only bowled 5 overs. Right arm medium fast. He's played 7 tests, 14 wickets, at an average of 32.2. And he comes in right-handed over the wicket to Dean Algar. Pitches on middle fullish and defended to the offside, no run. 131 kilometers per hour. So he looks like actually like an Umar Gul type of bowler. Not that quick, but hopefully accurate for Pakistan's sake.
Yeah, there is the all-rounder option. They're equivalent to Bjorn Mulder, I guess, averaging about 30 with the bat and 30 with the ball.
He's a decent cricketer. Yeah, it's quite good.
Yep, Fahim Ashraf, right arm medium bowler, comes in over the wicket to Dean Algar, and this one pitches on leg, defended outside off by Algar, and there's no run.
Josie Oaks says, morning all. Hey, Paul Harris took 100 wickets in 38 and 37 test matches. What's wrong with that? Ha ha ha. And I think he was our best spin option for ages. It's not like he was taking the place of someone else. We just didn't have a lot of spin options.
Yeah, it was sort of the joke going around at the time because, as I said, he was the only spinner that would make it into the side on a regular basis, and I can remember innings where he got picked, and then he would like bowl 3 or 4 overs before lunch and after tea and things like that. So it was sort of a joke going around. Paul Harris was sort of a token spinner. We just had him in the side because we thought we needed one. Fahim Ashraf into Dean Algar, defended on stump, no run, 52 for 1.
And Linux Layer says, come on, South Africa. We all believe in an Indian Brisbane type miracle. Panton Saini at the Gabba. I don't think it would be a miracle for us to win here, but I wouldn't mind it being as exciting as that game.
Yes, that test match series between India and Australia is absolutely enthralling. It was good to watch, even just catching the last few hours of every day here in South Africa. This one is played off his pads by Dean Algar, and looks like Hassan Ali. They're doing the fielding, and they take 2. 54 is the score. Thanks everybody for your tweets and for sending us your thoughts in there, and let us know which side have you picked, which side are you rooting for. Obviously, South African fans over here, wearing my green and gold today, and let's hear from some of the Pakistan supporters. What do you think about the team selection? What do you think about the wicket so far? Fahim Ashraf into Dean Algar, played out to Kali, and there is no run. It looked like Dean was a bit surprised by some bounce there, some deviation there from the pitch. He's walking down the wicket to have a look. 54 for 1 is the score.
Dave Midgley says that Otto mentioned that Elgar is treating the bowling with respect. And he says, I don't know if Elgar knows how to be disrespectful. Yeah, he's always...
He does look like a very amicable man. Algar and this defensively out to mid-off, and there's no run. 54 for 1. So Fahim Ashraf only 2 runs conceded in his first over. Job well done as far as Pakistan are concerned. And this is the end of the first hour. Somebody's running onto the field with a drink. Not sure if the players are going to have a drink, but the wicketkeeper is asking for the helmet. So are we going to see him standing up to a medium pacer, or are we going to see some spin now? Let's see.
Yeah, it does look like we're going to see a bit of spin. The debutant, Maman Ali.
Yes. So this is the 34-year-old, is it?
Yeah, but in the recent domestic season, he did take 61 wickets at 23 runs. Average of 23. So coming off some decent form.
Was that
and it's not like he'll have to shoulder. Sorry?
Yeah. Was that second on the list? Was he first or second in the leading?
There are only a few bowlers with more than 60, so yeah, first or second, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
And he also slightly less pressure, knowing he doesn't have to shoulder the entire responsibility of the spin attack with Yasser Shah around as his first deliveries.
Left arm orthodox spinner. He's going through and around the wicket to Van der Dussen, who plays that to mid-on, and they take a single. 55 for 1 is the score. Nauman Ali, 285 first-class wickets. Did I read that correctly?
Yeah.
So he's got a really solid first-class career behind him.
But given his age, you'd almost expect more, I feel. More than 285. If he's 34 and able to take 60 wickets in a season.
Yes, indeed. He's going left-handed over the wicket now to Dean Algar, and Dean defends this back to the bowler for no run. 35 for 1.
Linux Slayer says, I choose to believe that Paul Adams was selected purely to boost the TV ratings.
To explain.
Paul Adams with his strange action. Nauman Ali in again to Algar. This one is a bit too full on leg stump. Clipped away to square leg by Dean for a single. And Rassi will now face the spin of Nauman Ali again. This could be a tricky tricky bowler to face for South Africa. They haven't seen much of him. As you see him receiving his cap before the match this morning. So a proud moment for him. I'm sure he comes through and around the wicket to Rassie van der Dussen, who defends this. They appeal for what looked like an LBW, but I think there was some solid bat behind that. 56 for 1 is the score. Doesn't look like this will be referred. So now Ali now settled into where he wants his fielders to be with the left-hand, right-hand combination. He comes in for his 5th delivery, and this one is defended off the front foot to mid-off, and they take a quick single. Just need to beat the man at a shortish extra cover. As we see the replay of the appeal, there was an inside edge onto the pads there, so very ambitious appeal by Pakistan, and no interest from the umpire. Replays just confirming that. Nauman Ali over the wicket to Algar, the left-hander, defended back to the bowler. No run, 57 for 1. And that is the end of the over. And we should be getting our replacements now as well. The drinks are coming onto the field now, and this time there's enough for everybody to have one. Not just the one bottle of water with the helmet that we saw at the end of the last over. So evenly poised here after the first hour, not really going either team's way. Good start by South Africa, but Pakistan got the 1 wicket of Markram.
I think South Africa.
Yeah, anytime that we haven't.
South Africa will be happy with that.
I'm pleased. Yeah, anytime that we haven't capitulated in the first hour of the Test series, you just feel like it can't go too badly wrong. There's something going our way. Ultrafonus just asked, tell us the field placing for the debutant spinner. Anyone close in? There were a couple of close-in fielders. I guess we'll wait for another over, and I can give the exact field that we had for Nauman Ali.
Yes, he was bowling to a single step, if I recall.
It was a short leg.
Thanks for pointing that out. We will be sure to give you some more detail about the field placings when we get back to the cricket as the players are taking drinks. Yeah, it's a okay start, good start by South Africa. First time in 14 years back in Pakistan. They must have been looking at the pitch, trying to figure out what it was going to do. Very, very nicely done by Dean Algar so far. Rassie van der Dussen also looked like he's sort of got his eye in. Markram looked okay until he was undone by Shaheen Afridi, with the ball coming across him, playing the wrong line there. So, good stuff.
Markram looking very good against the bad balls and not quite as good against the good balls.
Yes, that was Hassan Ali's opening the bowling with Shaheen Afridi that gave the South Africans some practice shots there and some opportunity to get their eye in. He was replaced by Ashraf, and we saw the spin of Nauman Ali just before the drinks break now. So we'll see who's going to continue the attack. Probably Fahim Ashraf is the right arm medium, and Nauman Ali the slow left arm bowler. So who else?
There's a bit of a lull, and because I think the next hour
we're just waiting for the drinks break to stop. Who else need to sort of cement their place? This wasn't a great innings by Markram. Sort of getting a start and not converting, so he'll look forward to the next innings to try and correct that if things go that way. What do you think, Tim?
I think he must just remain positive, confident. He's just got to be able to see out that first hour, and I think he will be all right. He mustn't let outside influences influence how he plays. He's got to play his natural game. I think he will come off, but he's just got to be he's just got to believe that it will come off, that he won't get those runs that are needed to cement his place.
Drinks break is over, and Fahim Ashraf will continue now. He goes right over the wicket to Rassie van der Dussen, left alone outside off stump, and goes through to the keeper for no run.
Yeah, so for the meantime, I'm not worried. For the meantime, about Markham, you've got to give him the series. You've got to give him the entire series to see where he is.
Yeah, I guess the other openers that are in the squad at the start earlier, is there anyone else really? Is that the only guy who could be gunning for Markram's spot?
In my opinion, it's only Saul Erbier. His form is considerably better than anybody else's in the 4-day competition. And he, like Rassie, he knows his game. He knows his game inside out. So if Markham did fall off a cliff in terms of form, he could come in. But I wouldn't come in for the series. I would give Markham both test matches, possibly even the first against Australia, and then reevaluate where we are.
That last delivery to van der Dussen yielded no run. This one to van der Dussen outside off stump, left alone, and also no run there. The score is 57 for 1. Van der Dussen on 12 of 20. Algar on 30 of 46. I think we can excuse our batsmen for this first innings, but they better get used to the conditions quickly, especially Markram being the opener. The other batsmen surely would have been watching with great interest to see what the wicket was doing, how the ball was behaving. Fahim Ashraf in again outside off stump, defended by Van der Dussen, back down the pitch for no run.
You also spoke about the Australia series. I guess that's something we get to look forward to over the next couple of days, is finding out exactly how that's going to shape up, because right now it's supposed to happen, but we don't have any specific details. You can sort of guess who's going to be in our squad by who's already in the Pakistan T20 squad and thinking they're not going to play in Australian tests.
Yes, yeah. You can already make a sort of 11 or 12 of the squad already.
This one is nicely punched through extra cover by Van der Dussen off the front foot. Wasn't quite a full cover drive there. Just a forward defensive push for 4 runs. So for him straying there a little bit in his length, a little bit too full and wide, and Rassie punishing that mistake very nicely.
The interesting implied omission, I guess, is the fact that Lutho Sapamla is in the T20 squad, which means he's probably not going to play against Australia, which seems a little bit harsh, but maybe they want to make sure he gets some opportunities in the T20s. That is where he made his debut, and maybe.
In again on off stump, defended to the onside for no run. 61 for 1 is the score after 14 overs. Van der Dussen on 16 of 23, Algar on 30 of 46. Chris seems to have dropped off a little bit there, but we are expecting to be replaced here on Guerrilla Cricket South Africa, One World Sports Radio. Do tweet us at GUERILLASA, and remember that you can also sponsor our broadcasts. You can advertise on this platform. Please be sure to follow us, One World Sports Radio, on YouTube as well, where Mpo and the team put together some really informative podcasts. Naman Ali to continue now. This one is played by Algar out to mid-on, and they take a lazy single. 62 for 1 is the score now.
The cameraman seems to show Yasser Shah every ball now. Even the cameraman wants to see Yasser Shah on bowling.
Yes, so it's, we're going to have a look now at the field placings. They've got a short square leg now for Rassie van der Dussen and a slip in, and those are the only fielders close to the bat. This one defended down the pitch for no run. They've got a man at a point and then a shortish extra cover. For the left-handed slow left arm bowler, Nauman Ali coming through and around to Van der Dussen, plays this one defensively out to that man at extra cover for no run. We'll see if the ball is taking some turn as we have a look again at the wicket. Seems to be a little bit of grass here and there, but looks a decent pitch. Van der Dussen forward defensive up to point, no run. So we'll keep an eye out for some turn there by Nauman Ali. Because I think if it does take some turn and bounce, Yasir Shah will definitely be licking his lips to get the ball into his hands. At the moment, it's Nauman Ali to Van der Dussen. So he's bowling a bit too full for us to see if there is actually any turn in the pitch. And bowling quite quickly as well, 90 k's an hour. So trying to fire them in there, get the balls nice and full to try and get the batsman to drive maybe get the bat pad out to that short square leg. This one played off the back foot by Van der Dussen out to mid-on. He sort of swatted at that in front of his pads, and they take a single, 63 for 1.
There's certainly very, very few demons in his bowling at the moment. It's only in second over, but there's certainly nothing threatening from him so far. He seems to be reasonably economical, but that's about it.
Yeah, he's got his he's got his role to play. Yeah, and you're right. It does look like he's just like a holding type of bowler, not really looking that threatening, and keeping the ball full so as not to give the batsman a chance to latch onto it. Fahim Ashraf continues now. This one to Van der Dussen is just defended back down the pitch for no run, 63 for 1. And Chris is saying that he has left us for the moment. So it's me and you, Tim.
All right, I'll keep going.
Until we can get replacements on for you here on One World Sports Radio. We do have a whole team of guys. I know Ken is very excited to be on the air this morning. So hopefully Simon can get him in soon. Fahim Ashraf to Van der Dussen, driven to mid-off. And they take a single that's out. Run out as they try to take a second run, it looks like. Van der Dussen just push that to straight to the fielder there. I'm not sure if there was a mix-up, if he was sent back, but he is run out. It's Rassie Van der Dussen. He dropped his bat. Someone hands it back to him now, and he is looking absolutely dejected as he's walking off the field. So the second wicket down. He's diving there without his bat, and the wicketkeeper dives and breaks the stump. So it looks like Van der Dussen was sent back, lost his bat, and he's definitely gone. No doubt about that. He slid through without his bat and sat down on his haunches, just dejected, absolutely gutted. Rassie Van der Dussen, what are you thinking? And the third umpire will signal out. Now we'll wait for the replays to see exactly what happened there, because it looked like they went for a single and Rassie got set back and lost his bat. So he ran out by Babar Azam for 17 of 30 deliveries. 63 for 2 is the score. And Faf du Plessis walks to the wicket.
What was a good start, starting to look a little bit iffy. I don't know what on earth happened there.
Just a silly mistake from Van der Dussen. We're still waiting for the replays to tell you exactly what happened there. But Algar also shaking his head as he adjusts his gloves. Faf du Plessis walking to the wicket. So I think what happened there was Van der Dussen went for the run, got set back, lost his bat. Must have been some extreme hesitation there, because the ball came back into the hands of Babar Azam behind the wickets, and he dove forward to break the stumps and run out. Rassie van der Dussen was on strike. And Faf du Plessis will now face Fahim Ashraf, the third ball of Ashraf's third over, 63 for 2.
I don't think he would have made it even if he held his bat. I could be wrong, but the way they pictured with the stumps broken, I think if he had his bat in his hand, I still think he would have been out.
He was out far enough that if he had maybe if he had like a pool cleaning pole, he would have been able to make it round like a pool net or something. So du Plessis faces Fahim Ashraf, defends this down to mid-on for no run. Still no replay of that run out. Let's see. Okay, so Rassie van der Dussen plays the ball out to mid-off. He runs halfway down the pitch. He gets sent back, and as he stops and turns around, he drops his bat, and ball goes back to the wicketkeeper, and Rassie van der Dussen ran himself out. So he played the ball straight to mid-off, straight to the fielder, and set off for a run that wasn't there.
It looked like he wasn't looking at Elgar, because I see Elgar's right hand going out, saying,
Elgar was standing with his hand in the air, didn't move. Faf du Plessis goes through for a single now for 64 for 2 is the score. That one just played neatly to up to the adjacent pitches, and Dean was shouting no from the start. He didn't move out of his crease. Had his bat down behind the line. So that was all Rassie, all the way there. All his own fault. 64 for 2. Telling mistake by, and he is not going to be very proud of that moment, I'm sure. 2 slips in the gully in. They've got a catching extra cover. And this one by Elgar is played to that man at shortish extra cover for no run. Wide outside off stump. Dean been chasing after that one a little bit. 64 for 2. I wonder where our replacements are. Let's see.
I'm okay. I'm energized bunny, so it's all good from my side.
Yes, no, the show must go on. We'll stay with you guys here until further notice. Elgar defends this one out again to that man at a shortish extra cover for no run. And the score is 64 for 2, it looks like.
The Fahim and Ali combination has worked. Last 5 overs, 9 runs, 1 wicket.
Listen, we should read on the scorecard. Rassie van der Dussen, a run out by Rassie van der Dussen. But it was Babar Azam, the wicketkeeper, that took down the stumps. Let's just try and get hold of our fearless leader to help us switch the commentary teams out here. There we go. Ken and Chepo.
Hey! How are you, boys? Ready for some cricketing action. You guys have been holding the fort like champions, and it's great to hear you. It's great to see you, Tim. Great to see you, Otto. How you guys been?
Thanks very much, guys. Nauman Ali bowls to Faf du Plessis out into mid-wicket for no run, and that's the end of me for now. And I will be with you a little bit later today. Have a good one.
Awesome. Cheers, Otto.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Tim. Ken, my friend. What's going on? Oh, looks like we've gone all blacks here with Ken, as Nauman comes into attack around the wickets to Faf du Plessis, and this one popped for no run. It's been some interesting cricket here. Quite an interesting run out. Very surprised at what went on. Rassie van der Dussen was looking very set, very comfortable, very stable. But then he tried to force the run, force the agenda as he gets down to mid-off for no run. They tried to force the run. Dean Argos saying no, as Faf du Plessis drives this one to cover for no run. Dean Algo was clearly shouting on the other end, but Rassie van der Dussen had one thing in his mind. It was down to get down the other wicket. And the question is, Gorilla Cricket listeners and viewers, why would you force the run? He was looking so set. So don't be afraid to tweet us at Gorilla SA, and I'll be reading your tweet. You have a few tweets coming in from Leia. Yakety Sax time, he thinks, and let's hope that his shots are as much eye candy as him, as we're talking about Faf du Plessis, our captain, or our former captain rather. Just has such a captain, you know, energy. It's great. But yes, Norman has just finished his over. South Africa sitting on 64 for 2 after 17 overs. We have Dean Algo who's going to go on strike. He's sitting on 31 off 49 balls, and Faf du Plessis on the other end with 1 off 8. And it looks like Fahim is coming into the attack here. He's bowled 3 overs, no wickets for 7 runs. And he's steaming in over the wickets here. And this one just blocked to gully. Now very square, very close to gully there by Dean Algo. Really hoping for some big runs from Dino after getting a century in the Sri Lanka Test series. We're hoping that he really kicks on over here, sitting on 31, few runs away. I say a few runs away. It's 19 runs away from a half century. And Ken, you're here, my man. I've been chatting all on my own. It feels so strange. You're still mic. Oh my, you're muted. Your mic is muted. There it is. Still? That's still muted. There it is.
You can now hear me, I hope. Ooh.
Oh, shot. So I'm assuming by our ears, our fees.
Hey.
Oh, Chris. Hey.
Everything's working now, suddenly functional again.
Laka. Awesome. The 3 Musketeers. We're here to give you cricket. Ken, how's your feed looking? What do you see on your screen?
On my TV screen or on my 1WSR screen?
Your TV screen.
I'm busy watching Dean Algo about to face a delivery from Fahim Ashraf. 3rd ball of
Fantastic. The over. Yeah. Then our fees are synced. Chris, do you see the same thing?
I'm about a ball ahead, so I've paused now. I'll play again to make sure it syncs up with you guys.
I'll tell you when. Okay, so then who's going to ball by ball? Should I step in there?
Cool.
Whoever, I'm happy if no one else wants to do it.
Fantastic. Do you have someone on tweets?
I can open them up again. I'll be replying as myself, not as the official Gorilla Cricket account.
That's fine. That's perfect. I do the same thing. As Fahim comes over the wickets to Dean Algo, this one just blocks for no run. But gents, I need to ask, what on earth do you think was going through Rassie van der Dussen's mind for that run? There was
Well, I think he was almost a victim of his own success, really, because he'd gotten off to a really brisk start. Probably one of the better starts he's actually had in his international career so far, and maybe just got a little carried away. Maybe just trying to be a bit too positive, and there certainly wasn't a run there. Fahim Ashraf just aborting his run up there.
Yeah.
And this one, that's just. I said football. I meant dead ball. I did say dead ball. But yeah, no, it's. I did think that you say a victim of his own success. He was rotating stride nicely, and you think that as he hit it straight to the fielder, it was a run that he really fought, because he's really racing down, wanted to force the agenda as he hit it straight to Baba Azam, and this one driven for a single. This one was driven to mid-off for a single from Dean Algo, and South Africa sitting on 65 for 2. Sorry about that. But yeah, no, definitely forcing the run there.
Yeah, I think one of 3 disappointments for South Africa this morning. I mean, they they got off to such a brisk start. And for me, the first disappointment was they were all set to play 3 spinners, which I think would have been very exciting. And then Tabrei Shamsi, unfortunately, pulling up in the warm-up with a back spasm. And then Aiden Markram, getting out cheaply when he was looking as if he was getting set again.
As Fahim comes in to attack here, this one blocked by Faf du Plessis to mid-off for no run.
Faf just hinted a bit with the pace off the pitch there, or lack thereof, because that was airborne for quite a while before it went to mid-off, quite well out of reach of the bowler, however.
And so at the end of the 18th over, South Africa is 65 for 2. Just on the tweets, Ravi Nair says, Tsepo, finally. And David Midgley says, first hour of play under the belt. What do we think about the early shape for the quicks? I think we've seen a lot of good swing. Yeah, as I said earlier, I don't really know what to expect from Pakistani conditions. It's not something I remember. I was 9 and 10 years old the last time we toured there. But yeah, definitely
a long time ago.
I have an interesting fact on
that. Yeah, there was a bit of swing there was a bit of swing up front with the new ball. It looked quite sort of muggy and almost misty at the start, and I think swing is going to be pretty few and far between.
The Norman comes into attack from over the wicket to the left hand, and Dean Alva chips this to the left side for a single. South Africa sitting on 66 for 2. You were saying, Ken?
I think conditions are going to be pretty unforgiving for the pace bowlers, so they'll really want to make the most of that new ball, and there is a bit of swing there, it seems. So hopefully South Africa's new ball bowlers will bowl a bit better than Pakistan's did.
This pitch really demanded some discipline from the pace bowling attack, and unfortunately Hassan Ali on his return was just way too expensive. There were overs where he conceded 2 boundaries over, and that's not what Baba Azam wants from his opening bowling attack. But tons of movement, well, not tons of movement, but enough to trouble, especially the right-handers, as Norman comes from around the wickets for Faf du Plessis, and this one driven very square of the wickets for no run. But yeah, it's what this pitch needs is discipline. While there was some movement, without the discipline,
we spoke about it earlier, but it needs the guy who they've recently dropped, probably Mohammad Abbas.
Mohammad Abbas, I was wondering why this man wasn't in the attack. Do you think as Norman comes to attack, this one driven by Faf du Plessis, a fantastic drive through the covers for 4 runs. This is the Faf du Plessis that park. What a classy drive for 4 runs. He sits on 5 runs at the moment.
I wonder if Mohammad Abbas's omission isn't something to do with the nature of the pitch being totally bare. And I know, Abbas is probably a similar sort of bowler to Vernon Philander, and I know the Proteas sometimes were a bit concerned about how he would go on pitches where there's no nibble, where there's no grass cover.
Very hard, very hard pitch. Also, I wanted to say a surprise omission was Björn Mulder, but obviously he has succumbed to the spin of the pitch. It's exciting to see George Linder. It will be exciting to see how George Linder fares with his South African colours. This is your debut. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this his first test?
He's played one test. He played a test in India. So
test. Yes. I do remember. I don't remember that. I just remember. Very excited to see him. We have a no ball here from the debutants. So that means that Faf du Plessis gets him. No free hits here. Sorry, still have my 1-day goggles on. As he comes from around the wicket, so this one driven right back to the bowler.
Just on Björn Mulder, having chatted to Mark Boucher yesterday, obviously that number 7 position, the all-rounder, very important. And he just said that they feel that pace through the air is going to be very important on this pitch. And Vian Mulder, as well as he bowled against Sri Lanka, he's kind of 130 k's an hour, and they just thought that George Linder might get more out of the conditions as the all-rounder bowler.
And this one driven down the ground for a single by Faf du Plessis. South Africa sitting on 72 for 2. Very, very true. He doesn't really hit the deck very hard, and because of his lack of pace, he won't get much reverse swing on the wickets either. So yeah, it's sad, but it's unfortunate. But I guess that's how it is. Glad to give people opportunities, but some people are going to have to sit back on the bench as Nouman comes from over the wicket to Dean Algar. This one driven to cover for no run, and that's the end of the over. South Africa 72 for 2 after 19 overs.
Just on tweets, David Midgley asked, does anyone think that Mazzy 007 and Seppo Tayela sound similar? That's Fiso Mazabuko, a broadcast I'm not familiar with, but I've always thought that Seppo sounds close enough to Dave, in fact. Often I've had to listen for a couple of minutes before I pick it up.
No, guys, I want to be my own man. Seppo sounds like Seppo, guys. Don't forget, Seppo sounds like Seppo. But I'll take that as a compliment. Maybe I have a podcast voice for my team.
Well, especially coming from the very accomplished Fiso Mazabuka.
As Fahim comes into the attack, this one clipped off the pads by Faf du Plessis square for 4 runs. He really middled this one. That one was way too short. From Ashraf, and Faf du Plessis gave it the treatments, hit it square to deep square leg for 4 runs.
Lovely shot by Faf. It's been a nice positive start by him as well. So let's hope that he will be one of the batsmen who can capitalize on this good start and go big.
Right. I mean, at the beginning of the Sri Lanka series, a lot was made of the fact that we didn't have any batsmen averaging over 40. And now, after the Sri Lanka series, we have 2 batsmen batting over 40, both of whom are at the crease. Olga and Faf, both averaging just a touch over that number now.
Yeah, and I guess they are so important because the other sort of top batsman in the side really is Quinton de Kock. And really, it would be great if they could give him a platform. You know, you don't want Quinton coming in at less than 100 for 3. So if these two can get a decent partnership going, it really frees up Quinton de Kock to play at his free-flowing best.
Especially on this pitch that offers a lot for the batsman. This one into the keeper's hands, just outside. I think it was 6 now. It's the keeper's hands for no run. Yeah, we're really hoping that these two kick on, not just for the scoreboard, but as you said, for Quinton de Kock. It's unfortunate when he comes in earlier than we'd expect, and then he has to face the new ball. So yeah, it's good. I hope that these two really kick on.
I think as a guy who's opened a lot in white ball cricket, he's not too uncomfortable against the new ball, but he is the sort of player that you need to be playing freely.
100%. And this one spanked down the ground. Spanked, it was quite short, and it spanked right to off for no run.
And I've just done the maths as well. If we want Quinton de Kock to average over 40 by the end of this innings here, he needs either 120 not out or 160 out.
Brilliant, Chris. From your lips
Chris.
to God's ears.
Okay, so we're hoping for 129 not outs at least. No pressure. And this one blocked for no run. But Quinton will be really keen to kick on after he didn't really score many runs in the Sri Lanka series. If I remember correctly, it was 18 in his first innings, and he didn't really get a 50 at all. He bring up his stats. Do you have his stats there for us, Chris? How did he do in
Whose stats are you looking for?
Yeah, Quinny was the one guy who really missed out in the Sri Lanka series, the one batsman who didn't really spend a lot of time at the crease.
Captaincy on his mind.
You see, I've been thinking the same thing, Chris. You're in my brain, bro.
Yeah, so he scored 18 and 10 in his 2 innings there.
18 and 10, yeah, because he did not bat in the other innings, much like 50. Oh, because he won by innings in the first one, so yes.
Yeah, and then he didn't have to bat in the second.
And this one blocked for no run. Yes, didn't have to come into the second. Yeah, not a lot of runs. Didn't get many opportunities though, but not a lot of runs. And he definitely wants, as the captain, to really step up and get his average up.
Yeah, it depends the context that you put him in. As a wicketkeeper batsman, in the history of wicketkeeper batsmen, an average of 38.4 is very good. But if you know what Quinton de Kock's capable of, you feel he can definitely push that up.
Oh, certainly. He's no ordinary wicketkeeper batsman. He's a mainstay, and that's why he's captain. So in terms of the captaincy decisions, obviously for longevity, because who else could you really put in there? Aiden Markram hasn't really secured his spot.
I think the thinking is that de Kock's very much a temporary captain, and then you wait for someone else to step up, and the two front runners are probably Bavuma or Markram. Whoever sort of stamps their position a bit stronger will have the captaincy over the next couple of years.
Yeah, I guess Van der Dussen maybe comes into that conversation as well, but that's the frustration at the moment, that out of those three guys, all three of them have been a little bit inconsistent and still need to nail down their place.
Yeah, maybe the frustrating thing is our best batsman looks to be Faf du Plessis. He really looks like he's going to be the backbone of the batting order for a couple of years, but it's sort of shown that he doesn't have a huge amount of interest in that position anymore.
Well, I mean, I think it's so ironic that
bowled one, bowled two balls. Bowled two balls that went for no run, and this one came off the edge of Dean Algar, and it's running to the boundary. It looks like Fields are going to pick it up there, and they're just going to run two. And that was off Noma's bowling as he came.
Yeah, you were saying 10.
Yeah, sorry, it's just ironic that a year ago everyone was baying for the captaincy to be taken away from Faf du Plessis, for him to be axed as captain. And now we're almost sort of longing for him to take the job back.
Yeah, it's very easy to make conclusions on the very small sample size since he's given it up, but he does look a very comfortable man without the captaincy with bat in hand.
No doubt. As no one comes to attack here, to Dean Algar, this one played to the leg side for no run.
Yeah, I mean, I think he has spoken about feeling a burden has been lifted in a way, and you know, being captain of a side that is struggling or was struggling as much as the Proteas were, can really be an onerous task for guys. So good to see him playing with freedom.
One comes here. Dean Algar comes down the ground, double steps this one, trips it to the leg side. 4 runs, looking fantastic. 39 off 61 balls. He was waving his arm around. I thought he had a 50. I was like, wow, Dean, that was quite impressive. But it looks like he's just looking for maybe replacement gloves here.
Or you celebrate it might be some particular milestone for Dean. But see his feet there.
He definitely got the pitch of the ball there, did Dean Algar. He's looking very comfortable, very confident there. No ball has been hit out of control. There was some time when the movements from the initial, from the pace bowlers at the beginning looked like it could have been troubling, but he's really set into himself now as he faces this one and blocks it to the offside for him. South Africa's 31-82 for 2 after 21.
Yeah, the only milestone that could have been for Olga is 4,180 runs, and I don't think that's an especially important milestone for anyone.
That's almost 4,200 runs. Don't undermine that. Remember, 4,000.
Well, I better see a big celebration then when he gets to 59 for that 4,200.
Yes, 4,200, bro. Divide that by 100, and then you have the answer to the universe. What if Dean Algar is the answer to South African cricket's universe? Huh? Excuse the nonsense.
Yeah. Also, Yeah, he's now got 250 runs against Pakistan. That's also something he could be celebrating. But
that isn't bad at all.
But he's also putting on new gloves, so maybe it's that.
Maybe it's that.
Did you say he was on 4,108, Chris?
180.
Okay. Because Faf du Plessis, I see you went into this game on 4,108. Plus 10. Well, maybe catching up with Faf. Yeah.
I'll open up that tab and just get a live count of who has more test runs between these two, and that can be the competition.
It's literally a neck and neck race right now in the middle. Oof. We're just seeing some replays of the movements that's coming off the seat there. Hassan Ali, we'll be looking to extract that movement. We'll be looking to get a lot of movement off the pitch today, but we'll have to see how he does it as he comes into Faf du Plessis, and he plays this one with very soft hands to a very close cover for no run. So do you think these two are actually checking each other's stats, and being like, oh, we're so close, gee. When we go out there,
I think,
we have to race each other.
I think almost all batsmen, all sports people will tell you that they don't care about the numbers. And for some of them, that's true. And for some of them, they really do care about the numbers. I don't know what... I feel like neither of these players are that concerned. But there are definitely players that would worry a bit more.
And this one blocked by du Plessis for no run. What if it was a situation where Faf du Plessis or one of the two is very competitive and the other really isn't? Then every time the one scores a run, he scores it, he makes the other one. He's like, he won't take a single. Like Dean Alvar plays a single. Then Faf du Plessis is like, hey, bro, I don't want to run. No, thanks. Not to let you. That'd be pretty petty.
Yeah, so that I've got it now. There's 62 runs between them. They'll go ahead at the moment.
I see. And this one, blocked by du Plessis, almost rolled off path onto the stumps, but he was set. You were saying, Chris?
And ahead of both of them on the all-time South African list is a guy who's commentating for the first time in a while, Dale Cullinan. So I guess if they manage to if either of them gets to score about 400 runs in this series, they'd overtake him.
Oh, fantastic. That was a surprise in the commentary box. Dale Cullinan. Faf du Plessis plays this one square of the wickets on the leg side for no run.
Interesting to see.
It looks like the last ball caught him very high with that as well. Sorry, Ken.
Yeah. Interesting to see Hassan Ali just bowling a cutter the previous delivery, which obviously gripped a bit and bounced a bit extra, hitting Faf du Plessis on the splice. So as the new ball gets older, Pakistan employing different tactics now.
Ali comes to attack, driven off the back foot from du Plessis, and covered, did some great fielding to cut that off. South Africa sitting on 82 for 2 after, I can't see how many overs there are, but 82 for 2 as the change of overs happens right now.
And just following up on that, bowling a cutter, interesting to see Pakistan had 2 short covers there. So maybe just a tactic against Faf du Plessis. We know he likes to drive, and maybe they're just hoping that they can get one to stop in the wicket a bit, and he'll give one of those 2 men fielding very close to each other at short cover a catch.
As we see, for someone who actually does have more wickets than Kagiso Rabada, there's not a lot of them going around in this test match, and that's Yasir Shah into the attack.
Yasir Shah.
Yeah, it's a stats on. Carry on.
No, I was just going to say that he's coming from that piece.
Yeah, it's a stat that I've brought up over and over again, just because I think it does demonstrate how inexperienced these attacks are. But among the seam bowlers in this entire series, everyone included, even the guys who aren't playing today, Kagiso Rabada has 191 wickets, and every other bowler put together has 177, every other seamer. So really, 2 inexperienced seam attacks going up against each other.
Yeah, and if it doesn't turn, I think we could be in for a pretty high-scoring series if it doesn't turn a lot.
Not at all.
Yeah, I don't know how much the home sides are allowed to ask for specific pitches nowadays, but it would definitely be in Pakistan's best interest to have slightly more spinny pitches.
And Yasir Shah comes to attack. This one played off the pads and played to the leg side for 1 run. But you can see now on strike. Interesting. I've heard some punditry or some questions about how Pakistan also struggle with spin, as this one is blocked off the back foot from the sea. And yeah, as much as this is the subcontinent, it's not quite like India or Bangladesh or Sri Lanka, where the wickets are very slow. But this pitch has turned out to be a lot slower than expected, as Du Plessis drives this to long off for 1 run. South Africa sitting on 84 for 2.
I think it speaks to what Chris said about Pakistan going with a pitch that is going to suit them more. I'm not sure they want to get into a seam bowling battle with South Africa.
Yeah. Although they are the subcontinental side with the richest seam history, they definitely don't have the strongest seam bowling attack at the moment.
That's true. That's very valid. No one really cementing their spots as the second opening bowler. This one clipped to the leg side for no run. No one really cementing their spots. We see Hassan Ali coming into this attack. When we saw a button in New Zealand, it didn't look too bad, but just didn't strike as much as you'd expect, especially in New Zealand. That's the best bowler's dream, or at least one that.
Yeah, of course, we're also missing Mohammad Amir, who had a very premature retirement. And I think he recently said that he'd come out of retirement if they changed the coaching staff. So I don't think they value Mohammad Amir quite enough to make that decision. But that also shows you the politics behind the scenes in Pakistan, which I think has always been one of the issues that they face.
Yeah.
Yes,
we have a note here from Yasmin. As Dean Alga played this to the leg side for 1 run. South Africa on 86 for 2 minutes. Sorry, Kim said something.
Just Yasir Shah struggling to settle here. I bet he's got a rankful toss in this over, and now a no ball.
A shocking.
And he bowled a no ball, as I mentioned, Mohammad Amir. Is that a coincidence?
Maybe not. And this one, a bit more flights into the middle stump, but Du Plessis plays this to long off for 1 run. After 23 overs, South Africa sitting on 87 for 2.
And if you do want to tweet at us, it's at Gorilla SA at the moment. Most of our tweets are coming from very recognizable names. Dave Midgley was wishing a happy Republic Day to Paul Freeman. And Ravi Nair saying he's liking my one-horned devil look. I can't really see what I don't see any horns at the moment, but I could believe that there was the one there earlier.
One-horned devil. Hectic. My mom wouldn't like hearing that, eh? Doesn't want me talking to devils on the commentary team, bro. And this one, played off the back foot by Du Plessis, almost took a single, but Du Plessis was old enough to turn around and go back to his crease without losing his wickets.
It can be a sign of a good innings, the fact that Dean Elgar seems to be sweating quite a bit. It means he's been there for a while and that he's been working hard for his runs. Or just that it's quite hot in Karachi.
Why not both? Who says that they're mutually exclusive?
Around 25 to 28.
As Hassan Ali comes from over the wickets, played to the leg side for no run. Sorry, Ken, what are you saying?
Winter in Karachi at the moment, but I believe it's around 25 to 28 degrees, so pretty warm.
Yeah, about as warm as it is here at the moment. As we saw, just the strangest visual of someone drinking tea.
That was so blatant. That was actually pretty rude. That's what Ali bowls this one a block for no run. Literally, we just got shots of a man drinking a cup of coffee that seems to be at the title sponsors of the series. And he's just drinking coffee. Can you imagine being?
Well, hopefully he's not drinking the title sponsors product. I think the title sponsors are Brighto paint. So if he's drinking the title sponsors product, then yeah, he's just drinking.
That's terrible.
But yeah, I guess if you don't have a crowd,
I want to see that.
If you don't have a crowd, you have to focus on one guy. He might be the groundsman.
He's just drinking coffee. And this one blocked for no run. Sure, missing fans of the stadium, man. Yes, us. I really do. But these fans are so cool. It feels weird, doesn't it? Yes, Chris, you're saying.
I was just going to say, as far as sports without crowds go, I think cricket's quite used to it, whether it be domestic cricket in almost any country gets very few supporters, and Pakistan's been playing in the UAE for the last few years. It's not as big of a shift to go and play in empty stadiums.
That's true. Hassan Ali, this one blocked for no run. He's one ball away from the maiden, is Ali. Fair enough. Not as many fans, but I mean, yeah, if it's not do you really get a lot of fans in a test match? But an empty stadium, isn't that like?
And I think it's especially sad. It's especially frustrating with the empty stadium when it's our first time back to Pakistan. So the Pakistani supporters have they've been able to watch a few tests in the last couple of years, but they're obviously starved for live international cricket, and the fact that they're not able to watch it's a bit frustrating for them.
Sure.
Yeah, fair thought for them. It must be really quite heartbreaking, to see a team like the Proteas come back to Pakistan after 14 years and they can't see them except on TV.
No, that's not like it. And it has been 14 years. Last time we toured was 2007, and Mark Boucher was he had the club. So that's crazy.
Yeah, in between the Proteas played 2 series against Pakistan in the United Arab Emirates.
But overall, we have quite a good test record in Pakistan. We've played 3 series there, won 2 of them, lost 1 of them. I think I'll look at the years again, but I think we won in 99 and 2007 and lost the 2003 series.
That's interesting. That is very interesting. Unfortunate that we were also the last non-Asian touring team. We're the last one before and first one now. And Dean Algar plays this one off Yasir to mid-wicket for no run.
Although they've been able to watch their fair share of Zimbabwe, I think Zimbabwe are the first side back to play any cricket in Pakistan. In 2015, they played a few games.
Oh, wow.
And then also, I think 2017, we had the World 11, which had a few South Africans in it. I think Faf was there. I know Morne Morkel was. I know Imran Tahir went as part of a World 11 to play a few T20s.
I see.
Yeah, Imran Tahir going back to his home country.
That's crazy. It's crazy that he's originally from Pakistan. This one played no run.
I think it's the 1997 Under-19 World Cup. Imran Tahir played for Pakistan, and Grant Elliott and Michael Lum played for South Africa. And then you see all these cricketers going and ending up playing for other countries. Chris Gayle, I only know about the 97 World Cup, but Chris Gayle was the leading run scorer in that particular competition. So you think all those guys are the same sort of age, Gayle, Tahir, Grant Elliott.
97. This one chipped 2 behind square for 1 run. That was Dean Algar, and South Africa City won 88 for 2. Algar City won 42 runs. Taking away nicely, and 50% on 12. Sure. Brew, 97. How old are you in 97? How do you know so much about this World Cup?
Because I looked it up for self-serving reasons at first, because I went to St. Stithian, so I got upset. And my cricket coach when I was younger was Richard Lum, the father of Michael Lum. So I was looking up Michael Lum and all of his stories. So he and Grant Elliott both went to St. Stithians, and for a long time they were St. Stithians' only international cricketers. I think pretty much until Rabada came back. Okay, yeah.
And this one
2014, 2015.
2014, I think. This one played on the offside for 2 runs runs. South Africa sitting on 90 for 2 after 25 overs. Du Plessis on 14, Alba on 42. So did you go to school with Rabada since you went to Saints?
Yeah, but he was 2 years older than me. But I mean, there's lots of Saints guys in the Proteas setup at the moment, because Mulder's also a Saints guy, and now Rickleton's got his maiden call up.
Oh, had a very nice century in the One Day Cup. Was it against the Knights? No,
the Cobras.
The Cobras, yes. Maria Hamza's team. Yeah, he was looking very good there, driving it very nicely. Saints.
Just on South Africa's previous record in Pakistan, they won the series in 1997-98, 1-0, and then in 2007-8, won by the same margin. And in many ways, that was the tour that kicked off South Africa's dominance of Test cricket in that era under Graham Smith.
And Hassan Ali comes from around the wicket to Dean Algar. This one played down the ground for no run. Yeah, crazy, eh?
Yeah, South Africa started winning away from home on the subcontinent. So, that really went a long way towards making them the number 1 Test side in the world.
Yeah, if you look at the 2007...
And Hassan Ali from around the wicket. This one played very nicely. 4 runs to the offside, just behind square from Dean Algar. Just put the bat down in the way of the ball and just directed 4 runs. Brilliant shots. He moves to 46.
Yeah, if you look at the top 7 in that 2007 series, that's just about the strongest top 7 we've ever had, with Gibbs, Smith, Amla, Cullis, Prince, de Villiers, Boucher. The bowlers not quite there. Andre Nel, Steyn, and Antini as the top. Obviously, 3 good bowlers in their own right, but probably not our best 3. Once Philander and Morkel were there.
Sure. Yeah, those 2, eh? Hassan Ali from around the wickets, and Algar plays this to the onside for no run. We were quite the batting side in the 2007 era. Very strong batters there. Just listening to that top 7. Sure, we were so spoiled back in the day. Hey, Jeepers, Creepers. We were so talented. This one blocked to the offside for no run. So I remember hearing that, at least, I think it was either from Graham Smith or Hashim Amla when I was reading this paper, that the secret to become the number 1 side is winning away from home. And I'm sure for South Africans, or at least South Africans, Australians, maybe the English, getting to the subcontinent and facing the spin is just, it's too much. So what do you think South Africa need to get to that level once again? They've been talking about, as Dean Algar plays the offside, they've been talking about being a team that backs their own abilities, that believes that they can take on anyone. So what do you think needs to be in the pots of ingredients as they're stirring to become a formidable Test side?
I think winning in the subcontinent is overall maybe it's slightly more difficult, but than it was 10 years ago. But that's almost entirely because of how strong India have become. It's just a fortress there. I think we do have the ability to beat Sri Lanka, beat Bangladesh, beat Pakistan away. It doesn't look like anyone's really able to take India on in India at the moment.
This one dropped to the offside for no run.
Yeah, the big thing, as Chris says, India's, especially their pace bowling, has improved so much. So, whereas South Africa used to go to India and use the fast reverse swing, Dale Steyn in particular, that's now a weapon that India can use just as well. And so the key really to succeed at India is going to have to be getting better against spin, which takes time. The guys need to get more experience in those conditions.
And we've actually come across lunch. Yeah. It's lunchtime now. At lunch, 26 overs have been bowled. South Africa 94 for 2. Dean Elgar and Faf du Plessis are the not-out men. Dean Elgar on 46 off 76, Faf on 14 off 37. Markram was dismissed for 13 off the bowling of Shaheen Afridi, caught at a third slip, diving to second slip. Imran Butt on debut. Rassie van der Dussen, a bit of a disastrous run out. He was run out for 17. So just Shaheen Afridi, the only wicket taker so far amongst the bowlers. 94 for 2. Maybe I feel honours shared slightly. Without the run out, South Africa might be in a pretty, feel like they have the upper hand.
Yeah, for sure, Chris. A positive start by South Africa, but you just feel they wasted one wicket too many, and it really was a waste, that run out of Rassie van der Dussen.
No doubt about that. There'll be hard words, maybe a few hard words for Rassie van der Dussen from himself. But yeah, no, definitely honours even. We're watching a good test match here. Great batting from Dean Elgar to stay there. Great bowling from the Pakistanis to put a bit of pressure on, just lacking that consistency. But yeah, I think that's a wrap from us until after lunch. I'm not normally the one that presses the button here and does the funnies. I just come here,